it is your sleepless god back with What If Hiccup Was a Dragon Healer, part 5, part 6, something around this. I do have a job. I finally got one. Yay! Fucking bitches. But I do work a lot. I work 12-hour shifts 5 days out of the week. So I'm not going to be making as many videos because most of the time I get home, I'm exhausted, go to bed, go back to work. But the weekends, I'll be making videos more often. But let's start the video off. So last time we talked about, we were preparing for hibernation. We were preparing for the long winter. Toothless is not a what we call hibernating creature, so with him, loneliness kind of peaks in a little bit, especially with so many, for so long dealing actually with other dragons. It's hard for Toothless in the wintertime, so Hiccup kind of comes along more and more. Preparing extra fish, and then the expedition out with the other villagers, going on a final expedition to see if they can find the dragon's queen's lair. And then the little duel with Snotlout, where Snotlout saw that Hiccup is incredibly strong, way stronger than he is, and won. If you want to, obviously, again, watch my previous videos. They're all, hopefully able to watch pretty easily. I don't have that many videos. Okay, let's start this video off. So, Hiccup right now, because Stoic is not home, Stoic is still on his trip, he's a lot easier escaping, but for some reason there's someone watching him even more. Astrid is like, for some fucked up reason, in his head at least, Astrid is just dead ass fucking staring. Every time he leaves early, after with the crew talking about stuff that he doesn't care about, like killing dragons. Like, I don't give a fuck about this stuff. Why would? Okay, I'm gonna leave now. And Astrid just eagle eyes him, and just randomly Astrid ask questions like, "Where are you going?" And be like, he has to dog around them a little bit, just a tiny little bit. But what Astrid's doing right now is trying to figure out what is Hiccup, because Hiccup is an interesting person. Don't doubt this. Hiccup is an interesting character. So Astrid's trying to figure out what his deal is. So Astrid's trying to investigate, and she can't fucking pick up anything. That's the bother of it. How he moves, how he does things, how he does anything, his coverization. All that she can see is that he's way more built than anyone thinks he actually is. That's number one. Number two, that he has a weird semblance, a weird connection with Gothi. And three, and the most in her mind kind of weird, is that he's too calm all of the time. With dragon training and everything like that that's going down right now, anything that happens, he's moving like a dancer, like a ballerina almost. Never like a soldier or something like that. Always like a ballerina or like a dancer, just moving on the battlefield. He never really has even weapons. He sometimes carries a shield, but most of the time doesn't. Moving around, even with the most, in her opinion, the most deadliest. Oh, you're gonna hear me yawn a lot. Sorry. Sleepless is pulling out of my ass, truly. Like deadly natters and like spikes getting thrown. He's just never hit. And he's not really pulling attention to himself like he did the first day, but he's never really in it, and he never really gets hurt, and he never gets knocked out. And he's never in the way. He's always just like a ghost, disappears. This is on purpose for Hiccup's sake. As Hiccup is sitting in his right now, sitting in his room, mixing potions, smelling. Is that okay? As he has vials almost around him, he's writing up ingredients list that he's like how much he has, what does he have to limit even now? His winter has started, and right when he hears a knock, boom, 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 as he grabs up. It's not really a loud knock, but he opens up the door and he sees Astrid standing out there. And Astrid always been just staring at him like he's a different type of creature. But he's like, yes, Astrid, do you medical supplies? Is your mother feeling okay? My mother is feeling fine. I was wondering if you wanted to go and talk for a little bit. Hiccup looks like back and like almost look like what the fuck? Okay. Sure, come inside. As he shuts the door, he like flips. You see like pull like a lever that flips a sign right to his like on his window. Right now it's green. He flips it to red. This is basically a sign for Toothless. Hey, I got someone in here. Do not come in. If it's green, that means hey, all good. You can fly in here. And it's like his like a dog door, like a doggy door, but it's like on his window, so like he can run in. As Astrid sits at the table and starts pulling out some things like a map and everything like that, and pulls out a book, and Hiccup, is that a map of the island I see? With X's on it. Let's see. X's. These X's are in particular order. Yeah, it looks like something. And a book. And a book. Can I see the book? Is that okay if I see the book? Astrid looks at him. Yes, it's fine if you look at the book. He grabs the book and looks through the pages. Is this a personal journal? Immaculate handwriting at that. Don't persecute me. I got fucking questions, jackass. Whoa. As he shuts the book and puts it down. It's like instantaneously going with the threatening manner. At least it's normal Astrid. I can handle that. You, on hours of the day, disappear from this island. I've checked every beat of this island when you are gone and you're not there. Maybe you didn't check hard enough. I promise you, I have hours of the day gone. Lester, now, for some reason, I don't know why, but hours of the day, you've been gone. Or cupped up here. Well, sometimes I'm gathering, things from the planting, moving. I'm doing stuff. Maybe we just missed each other. Missed each other my ass. That's Astrid thinking gonna think, but accidentally says it out loud. Like, whoa. What's the threatening manner here? You, as she grabs the book, as he looks at it, healed 13 individuals in one day. Gothi can't even do that. He keeps on flipping multiple different times where you've shown to do stuff that no one else can possibly do. Shuts the book. What are you? As Hiccup looks at her and says, I'm Hiccup. Hopefully, the second doctor of the village, and maybe second chief. You are Astrid. I'm just making sure that you know who you are. Astrid slams her axe on the table. You are confusing me. That's mean of me, honestly. It's terrible of me to confuse you so heartily. Why am I confusing you again? I honestly don't know. As Astrid looks at him and says, you are decent at training. You have no physical. I've never seen you train with a sword, even though you've beat Snotlout with ease, even though I've seen him train hours. You have 2 swords that I've never seen before, and that cloak, as it's a fully black cloak with it almost looks like scales, but it almost looks like the scales were almost colored over, it's hidden almost. That cloak must be something hardy to handle heavy fire like you normally run into the buildings with. Huh? Good cloak. Properly worn, properly used. Any cloak can possibly do what this cloak can do. Bullshit. I don't even know what I'm dealing. I don't even know. I offered you in here. He grabs he steps up, pops open drinks and fills up a container or two, hands him. So I thought you were just gonna talk to me. We're gonna have a civil conversation. I was not gonna just get investigated. Just put the cork back into the bottle and puts it away. As he drinks it, it's a mix between honey, a bit of juices from different types of fruits and fruits that he's picked himself and the garden that he's been building slowly. As he's drinking it, Astrid looks at it. If this is a medical concoction and tastes like one of your medical concoctions, I don't want to drink it. I promise. It could be. As their long conversation becomes less so as drinking comes to place, as Astrid is slowly getting more and more tired as time goes on, but she's still trying to get anything out of him, asking questions that Hiccup kind of dodges successfully, but kind of slightly answers. It's so where do you go on these places? Well, just around, helping people out as I possibly can. Oh, helping who exactly? Just everyone. Just answering without truly answering. It's that type of how things are done. It's the same thing as when you get asked a question, you answer with another question. It's not fully answering those questions, but it's there. As the next day goes around, they're training as obviously Gobbert is thought process and reading went down immensely. Gobbert, everyone's there as Gobbert opens up the cage and he's like, shit. He opens up a wrong cage. He opens up the monstrous nightmares cage as it starts bursting into flames as everyone's screaming, running around. Astrid has this shield up. Hiccup is moving slowly. he's not pulling out both of his blades as Astrid looks at him. What are you doing? Get ready. We might have to fight this thing together. As he says, maybe. As you see a burst of flames get shot at Astrid as Hiccup grabs her and pulls her. You see the flame just shoot past her as he starts running to the side of it as Monstrous Nightmare basically starts following him in particular as he rolls as one of the nice Monstrous Nightmare like claws try to scratch him as he looks at the cage of where the Monstrous Nightmare was in as Gobbert takes a couple of steps back and smiles. He didn't do this on accident, he did this on purpose. As the flames start to roll off of him, he runs as Hiccup runs like where his legs are as the Monstrous Nightmare tries to like basically belly flop trying to hit him down. As Hiccup rolls and runs as the Monstrous Nightmare starts to follow him as Astrid starts to run after him and goes for a jump and tries to stab him as the Monstrous Nightmare like hits her away with a wing and just flies her. She tumbles around as Hiccup looks at her for like a couple of seconds but realizes this has to be done as he runs into the cage as the Monstrous Nightmare falls inside, basically looking like a trapped animal as he grabs the Monstrous Nightmare horns and then you see his eyes change a different shade of color. His eyes turn bright green as he looks at the beast and he says, in dragon language, basically the language of a dragon, settle down. There's a dragon like on his haunches, settle down, and you almost see him like bow his head as the Monstrous Nightmare like flops down. He gives it like 2 pats on its head and he walks out of the cage, shuts it, and locks it, and looks over at Gobbert as Gobbert's smiling like, and he's like leaning over. Well, you handled that well, didn't you? As Hiccup says, if you ever do that again, I'm cutting off your other leg. As Astrid gets up, she's groaning as Hiccup's like, fuck. He walks over to Astrid as you see him pull out a vial, pop it open. Okay. As he touches her like on the lower back and you see like bruising move up. I need you to drink this now. As Astrid's like, I'm fine. You do it now or I force it down your throat. Either way, it's gonna happen. As she grabs the vial and starts drinking it, as Hiccup has a hand on her back and she finally starts drinking it as he starts taking away the pain of it as the bruising basically becomes nothing now, just normal skin. But you see like a slight glow pop out on Hiccup's back as Hiccup is basically covering back up with his cloak and everything else. Luckily he has a long sleeve shirt and everything. As Hiccup she finally gets it done. He's like, do you feel better now? As she drops it, as he grabs the vial, puts the cork inside of it. Basically, it's just a lid or like a tiny cork. And the rest of the crew walks up. The twins are like, oh my gosh, how did you do that? It's just an old method I learned back in the day. You're the same age as us. Why are you talking like you're an old ass fucking man? As like you see him like he's like grabs his back a little bit as Astrid looks at it. Are you okay? Yeah, just tense. He like almost looks like he's stretching. He's like, I'm gonna go back. As to my I'm gonna go rest for a little bit. That was a bit of a struggle fest. As he walks back, as Astrid looks at him suspiciously, as in the same day as Hiccup going back into his house. You see boats arrive back at the back at Burke, as most of them are cracked, smashed. Luckily enough, no deaths, but a lot of injuries. Luckily enough, Hiccups with his healings and ointments saved a lot of their cuts and scrapes, and a lot of the things if they obviously could have died. As Hiccup looks onto the ships and says this is going to be a rough night. So this kind of goes into more of like what Hiccup is as a healer. Hiccup heals any injury that needs to be healed and that can't be fixed by ointment. But not all injuries. For example, let's say it's a simple cut. He puts some ointment on that thing. He says, hey, this is going to take a little bit to heal. It's going to scab, and then it's going to fully heal. But like some like cracked bones, he heals. Not completely, though. Not all the time, because that would be suspicious. If you just, I have a cracked bone, and it was like instantly went from cracked to, oh, I can move it perfectly. That's suspicious. But he realigns it and then starts fixing it slowly as days go on. They keep on bringing them back, and he fixes it slowly. Like, instead of like a month or 2 months to feel it, it takes like a week. And less pain for him as well, because that pain's going to go away, and then it's going to obviously come back smaller and smaller until the fully wound is healed. And then you see Gobert and Hiccup's dad. What's his name? Fuck. Gobert. The chief, just the chief, as he walks up, he says, how's Hiccup? Well, I gave him a test today. As the chief looks down, what do you mean by, I released a dragon that you could easily face by yourself. They're supposed to be in training, Gobert. You can't just, I think we need to figure out a little bit more about the boy. Why? He put it in its cage. And I looked at it. No cuts, no bruising. Like he talked it down. 2 things. I don't know anything about dragons, or that boy is more special than we think. As you see the chief look up with his massive, beautiful beard to the skies. My wife always called him special. As this is where we're going to end off the video right now. Hope you guys like it. Hopefully videos are going to come out, faster. Don't rely on my fastness. This is going to, don't even try. But thank you very guys. Obviously, like, comment, subscribe down below. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.